Admiral Taiho Kim stood on the bridge of the Defiance asterisk, his face hard as stone. The screens before him showed the smoking ruins of New Hope Colony. Bodies of men, women, and children lay scattered across what had once been streets and homes. Taiho's hands gripped the railing until his knuckles turned white. "Replay the attack footage," he ordered, his voice low and tight. Lieutenant Yoon nodded and tapped her console. The large screen flickered and showed Viridian warships entering orbit above the peaceful colony. Without warning or mercy, they opened fire. The colony's small defense shields collapsed within minutes. "Stop," Taiho said after watching the Viridian ground troops move in. "That's enough." Commander Jisoo Park approached him carefully. "Admiral, we've counted over 3,000 dead. The colony was mostly families and farmers. They had no military value." Taiho nodded once, and the Galactic Council's response. Jisoo's face darkened. They called it regrettable but within acceptable parameters. The Viridians claimed they found weapons being developed there. Weapons? Taiho almost laughed. They grew food. They had barely enough defense guns to keep wild animals away. The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The Galactic Accords, signed just 3 years ago, were supposed to protect human settlements. Earth had given up building certain weapons and ships in exchange for this protection. But this was the third incident in 2 months. Taiho turned to his communications officer. "Get me Earth Command." Minutes later, Defense Minister Han Bin-Lee's face appeared on screen. His expression was carefully blank. "Admiral Kim, I've received your report about New Hope Colony." "And what will Earth do about it?" Taiho demanded. The minister sighed. "We've filed a formal complaint with the Council. They've assured us." "Formal complaint." Taiho cut in. 3,000 civilians are dead. "We must be careful, Admiral," Han Bin said quietly. "The balance of power is delicate. We cannot risk." "Cannot risk what?" "Standing up for our people." Taiho's voice rose. Several bridge officers glanced at each other nervously. "Admiral, I understand your feelings, but your duty is to follow orders. Return to your patrol route." "That's a direct command." The screen went black. Taiho stood frozen, his mind racing through 27 years of loyal service. All the battles fought, all the friends lost, all for what? To watch human colonies burn while politicians talked. Jisoo approached again. "Sir, your orders?" Taiho looked around at his bridge crew. These were good people, loyal people. What he was thinking would ask too much of them. "Clear the bridge," he said suddenly. "Officers only." When only his 5 senior officers remained, Taiho spoke carefully. "What I'm about to suggest is treason. Anyone who wishes to leave now may do so without judgment." No one moved. "The Galactic Council is allowing these attacks. Earth Command is too afraid to act." Taiho's eyes burned with determination. "I propose we take independent action. We go dark, break from Earth Fleet, and protect our colonies ourselves." Captain Daejung, weapons officer, leaned forward. "Sir, that would make us rogues." "Yes, it would." Taiho nodded. "I won't force any of you. This must be your choice." Jisoo spoke first. "How would we sustain operations? We'd need fuel, supplies, repairs." "There's the abandoned mining base at Chien 5, said Lieutenant Wong, their navigator. "It's off most charts now, but it has working docks and equipment." "And what would we do exactly?" asked Jisoo, her face troubled though her voice remained steady. "Protect human colonies. Gather evidence of these violations. Force the Council to honor their agreements," Taiho said simply. The room fell silent. Taiho watched his officers' faces, people he'd known for years, people who trusted him. "I'm with you, sir," said Wong. "As am I," Daejung added. One by one, they agreed, until only Jisoo remained silent. "Commander Park?" Taiho asked quietly. Jisoo met his eyes. I think you're making a terrible mistake, sir, but I won't let you make it alone. Tai-ho nodded, feeling the weight of what they were about to do. Prepare a coded message to the ** Vigilant **, the * Steadfast **, and the * Protector **. Captain Song, Yoon, and Lee will understand what I'm asking. And if they refuse? Jisoo asked. Then they'll report us, and we'll be hunted across the galaxy. Tai-ho's smile was grim, but they won't refuse. 30 minutes later, 4 ships broke formation from Earth's 7th Fleet. They disabled their tracking systems and changed course toward the outer systems. On the * Defiance *, Admiral Tai-ho Kim watched the stars streak by as they entered faster than light travel. May our ancestors forgive us, he whispered, because Earth Command never will. The news spread quickly across human space. Admiral Tai-ho Kim, hero of the Proxima War, had gone rogue with 4 warships. On Earth, people gathered around public screens in city squares to watch the official announcement. Defense Minister Han Bin Lee stood before the world press, his face stern. Admiral Kim has betrayed his oath and abandoned his post. This act of desertion will not stand. All Earth forces have been ordered to find and return the * Defiance * and her sister ships. But after the cameras turned off, Han Bin walked alone to his office and locked the door. He poured himself a drink with shaking hands. The images from New Hope Colony haunted him too. Maybe Tai-ho was right. Maybe words and papers couldn't protect their people anymore. His personal communicator beeped. The message was simple. I did what you couldn't. Don't look for us. Han Bin deleted the message from Tai-ho and closed his eyes. In the abandoned mining system of Cheon 5, the 4 ships docked at a station that hadn't seen use in 15 years. The old facility was built into an asteroid, hidden from casual scans by the system's dense dust clouds. Admiral Tai-ho walked through the dimly lit corridors with Jisoo and Chief Engineer Hyunwoo. The power systems are working better than expected, Hyunwoo said, tapping on screens as they passed. We can have basic operations running in 3 days. Full capacity in 2 weeks. What about supplies? Jisoo asked. We have enough for 2 months, Hyunwoo answered. After that, we'll need to find friendly traders. Tai-ho nodded. There are independent colonies that will help us. People who know the Council hasn't protected them. Jisoo frowned. Those same people might sell information about our location. A risk we'll have to take, Tai-ho said. They'd reached the old control center. Dust covered the consoles, but the systems hummed to life as they activated them. This will be our base, Tai-ho announced to the officers gathered there. From here, we'll monitor Council space, protect human settlements, and gather evidence of violations against our people. Captain Dae-jung raised his hand. Sir, what do we call ourselves now? We're not Earth Fleet anymore. Tai-ho hadn't thought about this. We are the Free Human Defense Force, he decided. But our mission remains the same, to protect humanity. As they set up operations, a small transport ship approached the asteroid. It carried no military markings, but its design was clearly Earth Fleet. Unknown vessel approaching, called the sensor operator. They're requesting permission to dock. Weapons ready, Jisoo ordered immediately. Wait, Tai-ho said, looking at the scan. That's a Scout-class transport. Minimal weapons. And look at the registration code. It's from the 18th Tactical Division. Jisoo looked puzzled. That's Lieutenant Do-yeon Choi's unit. Tai-ho smiled for the first time in days. Let them dock. 20 minutes later, Lieutenant Do-yeon Choi walked into the control center. He wore a standard Earth Fleet uniform, but had removed all rank insignia. Behind him came 15 officers and technicians, each carrying equipment cases. Admiral, Do-yeon said with a crisp salute, Lieutenant Choi reporting for duty. Tai-ho stepped forward. You understand what joining us means, Lieutenant. There's no going back. Do-yeon nodded. We all know, sir. We've made our choice. What made you come? Jisoo asked, still suspicious. Du Yun reached into his pocket and took out a small holographic projector. When activated, it showed a young woman with a child. My sister and her son, he explained. They lived on Frontier Station 8. Last month, Viridian ships inspected the station. They said they found illegal technology. 23 people disappeared during that inspection, including my sister. Earth Command filed another complaint. Nothing happened. The room fell silent. We bring gifts, Du Yun continued, nodding to his people. They opened their cases, revealing data cores, weapon parts, and communication equipment. This is the latest Earth Fleet encryption system, Du Yun said, holding up a small black box, and full tactical data on Viridian fleet movements for the next 3 months. Taiho's eyes widened. That's high-level classified information. How did you get this? Let's just say not everyone at Fleet Command disagrees with you, Admiral. Du Yun smiled thinly. They just lack your courage to act. Taiho examined the data cores. With this intelligence, they could avoid Earth patrols and monitor Viridian activities across the sector. Admiral Taiho stood before the tactical display. Around him, his senior officers watched as he pointed to the Viridian weapons platform orbiting the gas giant Corin 4. This platform has moved into firing range of New Busan colony, Taiho explained. According to Lieutenant Choi's intelligence, they plan to claim the colony as housing rebel fighters. Then they'll attack. How many people live there? Jisoo asked. 15,000, Du Yun answered, mostly miners and their families. Captain Daejung studied the weapons platform specs. It's well defended. 4 gun batteries, energy shields, and a squad of fighter craft. Can we take it? Taiho asked. Daejung nodded slowly. If we use all 4 ships, yes. But it won't be easy, and will likely take damage. Taiho looked at each officer's face. This will be our first strike. If we do this, there's no turning back. Earth Command will know we're not just hiding. We're fighting. The people on New Busan are human, Du Yun said firmly. If we don't protect them, who will? Jisoo frowned. I agree they need protection, but is attacking a Viridian military installation the right move? We could try diplomacy first. Diplomacy? Du Yun laughed bitterly. That's all Earth has tried for years. How well has that worked? Jisoo's eyes flashed with anger. I'm not suggesting we do nothing, Lieutenant, but once we fire on that platform, we become the aggressors in the Council's eyes. We're already criminals in their eyes, Taiho said quietly. Jisoo, I understand your concerns, but that platform will fire on New Busan within days. We have the power to stop it. After a moment, Jisoo nodded. Then let's do it right. I have a plan that might reduce our losses. 3 days later, the Defiance emerged from faster-than-light travel near Corin 4. The massive gas giant loomed ahead, its swirling storms casting strange shadows. The Viridian weapons platform orbited slowly against the backdrop of colorful gas clouds. No sign they've spotted us, reported the sensor officer. The moon's magnetic field is masking our approach, just as Commander Park predicted. Taiho nodded to Jisoo, who had developed their strategy. Begin Phase 1. The Steadfast and Protector moved into position on the far side of the system, their engines dark, waiting for the signal. From the Defiance a small shuttle launched. It appeared to be a damaged civilian craft as it tumbled toward the platform, sending out distress signals. They're responding, Du Yun announced, monitoring Viridian communications. They're deploying fighters to investigate. As planned, 4 Viridian fighters approached the shuttle. Suddenly, the shuttle's engines fired at full power. It shot forward, releasing a cloud of sensor-jamming particles that engulfed the fighters. Now, Taiho ordered. The Vigilant decloaked directly behind the platform and opened fire on its shield generators. Simultaneously, the Steadfast and Protector powered up and launched a barrage of missiles from the far side of the moon. On the Defiance Tai-Ho watched as the platform's shields flickered and failed under the coordinated assault. Their communications array is down, Du Yun reported. They can't call for help. Target their weapon systems, Tai-Ho commanded. Disable, don't destroy. The battle lasted 20 minutes. When it ended, the Viridian platform drifted powerless, its weapons destroyed but its life support intact. Casualties? Tai-Ho asked. Minimal, Ji-Su reported. They lost 2 fighters. We have some damage to the Vigilance port side, but no serious injuries. Tai-Ho nodded grimly. Send the message to the platform crew. Du Yun opened a channel to the crippled station. Attention Viridian forces. This is the Free Human Defense Force. We know of your plans to attack New Buzan colony. Your weapons are destroyed, but we've left your life support and engines functional. Leave this system and do not return. As the Viridian platform limped away, a cheer went up across the bridge of the Defiance. On the Galactic Council space station, Enforcer Junho Kang received the report of the attack. His superior, Council Director Mun, looked furious. This is outrageous, Mun shouted. Human renegades attacking Council forces. Find these criminals and eliminate them. Junho read the report details carefully. The tactics, the precision of the strike. He recognized the style immediately. I know who led this attack, Junho said quietly. Who? Mun demanded. Admiral Taho Kim. We served together for 15 years. Junho's face showed no emotion, but inside, his heart ached. I know how he thinks. Then you will lead the hunt, Mun declared. Find your old friend and bring him to justice. Junho bowed stiffly. Yes, Director. 1 week after the attack on the Viridian weapons platform, sensor specialist Su Min-Yun sat alone in the data lab on Qian 5 base. Her eyes burned from staring at screens for hours. During the raid, they had downloaded the platform's communication logs. Most were routine messages, but something wasn't right. Su Min rubbed her tired eyes and took another sip of cold coffee. Then she saw it, a hidden pattern in the data traffic. She quickly typed commands into her console. Computer, decode this transmission pattern using Earth Fleet Intelligence Key Delta 9. The computer worked for several minutes. Finally, new text appeared on her screen. Su Min's eyes widened as she read. Admiral Kim needs to see this now, she whispered to herself. In the command center, Admiral Tai-Ho looked at the decoded messages with growing anger. Around the table sat Ji-Su, Du Yun, and Su Min. Are you certain these are authentic? Tai-Ho asked Su Min. She nodded. Yes, sir. The encryption is definitely Viridian military grade. These messages are real. The messages revealed something terrible. The attacks on human colonies weren't random. They were part of a coordinated plan by several council species, the Viridians, the Morkith, and the Zentari. Their goal was to slowly push humans back, reducing their territory and influence without starting an all-out war. Those lying snakes, Du Yun said, his fist hitting the table. They signed peace treaties while planning to destroy us all along. Ji-Su studied the data carefully. This goes beyond the Viridians. This is council-level planning. We need to take this evidence to someone on the council who will listen, Tai-Ho said. Someone who isn't part of this conspiracy. Counselor Min Ji-Ryu, Ji-Su suggested. She's always been fair to human interests, and she controls the council's security committee. Tai-Ho nodded. Can we arrange a secret meeting? It's dangerous, Ji-Su warned. But yes, I still have contacts who can reach her. 3 days later, Tai-Ho and Ji-Su sat in a small room on Neutral Station, a trading post in unclaimed space. The door slid open, and Counselor Min Ji-Ryu entered alone. She was a small woman with sharp eyes and gray hair pulled back tightly. Admiral Kim, she said coolly, you're the most wanted man in council space. Thank you for meeting us, Counselor, Taiho replied. You have 5 minutes before my absence is noticed, Minji said. Show me what was worth risking both our necks. Taiho handed her a data chip. This contains proof that the Viridians, Morketh, and Zentari have been coordinating attacks on human colonies. Minji inserted the chip into her personal reader. Her expression remained neutral as she scrolled through the evidence, but her shoulders tensed. Where did you get this? She asked finally. From the weapons platform we disabled at Corin 4, Jisoo explained. They were planning to attack New Buzan colony. Minji was quiet for a long moment. If this is real, it changes everything. It's real, Taiho assured her. And there's more. The attacks are increasing. We believe they're planning something bigger. Minji pocketed the data chip. I will bring this to the full council. There are others who will stand against this once they see proof. Be careful, Jisoo warned. Whoever is behind this has powerful friends. Minji smiled thinly. I've survived council politics for 30 years, Commander. I know how to protect myself. The next morning, news spread across all channels. Councillor Minji Ryu had been found dead in her quarters. The official report called it suicide. On the Defiance Taiho stared at the news in shock. She was murdered, he said quietly. They're covering it up, Du-Yun agreed, just like everything else. Jisoo's face was pale. We sent her to her death. An alarm suddenly blared across the ship. The tactical officer looked up with fear in his eyes. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL. Earth Fleet signatures. 3 destroyers and a carrier. They found us. How? Taiho demanded. Unknown, sir, but they're launching fighters. Attack formation. All hands to battle stations. Taiho ordered. Prepare to jump to emergency coordinates. As the crew rushed to their positions, Jisoo moved closer to Taiho. This was too quick after meeting Minji, she said quietly. We were tracked somehow. Taiho nodded grimly. The conspiracy goes deeper than we thought. Even Earth Fleet may be compromised. The Defiance shuddered as the first shots hit their shields. All ships, execute emergency jump to Tajom Nebula, Taiho commanded. The stars stretched into lines as the 4 ships of the Free Human Defense Force escaped into faster-than-light travel. But Taiho knew the truth now. They weren't just fighting the Viridians or even the Council. They were fighting a conspiracy that reached everywhere. The Tajom Nebula glowed with swirling purple and blue gases. Inside this colorful cloud, the ships of the Free Human Defense Force hid from Earth Fleet scanners. But they had problems. Damage report, Taiho ordered as he walked through the smoky bridge of the Defiance Shields at 40%. Engine 3 is offline. Hull breaches on decks 5 and 6, reported Chief Engineer Hyunwoo. We sealed them, but repairs will take days. Taiho turned to the communications officer. What about the other ships? The Vigilant took heavy damage. Life support is failing. The Steadfast and Protector are in better shape, but all ships need repairs and supplies. Jisoo joined Taiho at the tactical display. We can't stay here long. Earth Fleet will search the nebula once they realize we're not at any of our known locations. Where can we go? Taiho asked quietly. Every human port is watching for us now. Du-Yun, who had been studying star charts, looked up. There is one option, but you won't like it. He pointed to a system near the edge of the nebula. The Kresh outpost at Soren 2. It's less than half a day's journey at our current speed. The Kresh, Jisoo said in disbelief. They've been rivals with humanity for decades. Enemies of our enemies, Du-Yun suggested. Taiho studied the chart silently. The Kresh Dominion wasn't part of the Galactic Council. They kept to themselves, trading with other species, but rarely getting involved in politics. And they had their own problems with the Viridians over border disputes. We have wounded crew and failing ships, Taiho said finally. Sometimes you must choose between bad options and worse ones. He straightened his uniform, set course for Soren 2. The Kresh outpost looked like a massive metal flower, with 6 petal-shaped docks extending from a central hub. Armed patrol ships circled it constantly. They'd spotted us, the sensor officer announced. 4 Kresh warships are moving to intercept. Open a channel, Tai-Ho ordered. The main screen flickered to life, showing a Kresh officer. The alien had blue-gray skin and ridge-like features, but his eyes were surprisingly human-like. "This is Commander Sung-Ho Pak of the Kresh Defense Force," the alien said in perfect standard language. "Human vessels, you are in Kresh space without permission. State your purpose." Tai-Ho stepped forward. "I am Admiral Tai-Ho Kim of the Free Human Defense Force. We request emergency docking and repair facilities. We can pay with technology or information." Sung-Ho's eyes narrowed. "Admiral Kim, the rogue human commander, your own people hunt you." "That's why we can't go to human ports," Tai-Ho admitted honestly. "We have damaged ships and injured crew. We ask for shelter under the ancient code of sanctuary." The Kresh commander was silent for a long moment. Then he surprised everyone. "Dock at Pedal 3. Bring no weapons. We will talk." 2 hours later, Tai-Ho and Jisoo sat across from Commander Sung-Ho in a plain meeting room. Kresh guards stood at the doors. "Why should we help you?" Sung-Ho asked directly. "Helping human rogues could cause problems with Earth and the Council." "Because we share a common enemy," Tai-Ho said. He placed a data chip on the table. "This contains proof that the Viridians are planning aggressive actions against both humans and Kresh." Sung-Ho inserted the chip into a reader. As he studied the information, his expression darkened. "Where did you get this?" he asked. "From a Viridian weapons platform," Jisoo explained. "It shows their plans to attack colonies along the borders of both our territories." Sung-Ho leaned back. "This matches our intelligence. For months, Viridian ships have tested our defenses, claiming navigational errors. We knew something was coming." "They're doing the same to human colonies," Tai-Ho said. "But Earth Command won't act because of the treaties." Sung-Ho looked thoughtful. "So you act instead, outside the law." "Sometimes justice requires breaking rules," Tai-Ho replied simply. Unexpectedly, Sung-Ho laughed. "A very Kresh philosophy, Admiral." He stood up. "You may repair your ships here. My engineers will assist yours." Jisoo couldn't hide her surprise. "Just like that." "Not just like that," Sung-Ho corrected. "I propose an alliance. Your ships and our ships, working together against Viridian aggression." "An alliance?" Jisoo repeated skeptically. "Why would you trust us?" "Because unlike your Earth Command, you've proven you will fight when threatened. The Kresh respect that." Sung-Ho looked at Tai-Ho. "You're not the only one suffering from council politics, Admiral." On Earth, Defense Minister Han Bin-Lee stood at his office window, looking out at the protesters filling Unity Square. They carried signs with messages like, "Kim speaks truth," and "Protect our colonies." The crowds grew larger every day. Han Bin's assistant entered the room. "Sir, the council representatives have arrived." Han Bin sighed and straightened his uniform. "Send them in." 3 aliens entered his office. The Viridian diplomat, Turvok, spoke first. "Minister Lee, the council demands stronger action against these human terrorists. Admiral Kim has now allied with the Kresh Dominion. This cannot stand. We're doing everything possible to find him." Han Bin replied calmly. 5 fleet carriers are searching the border regions." "Not enough," snapped the Zentari representative. "Your rogue admiral attacked a Viridian military installation. Now he spreads lies about council species. This damages the peace we've worked for." Han Bin gestured to the window. "As you can see, many humans believe Admiral Kim's claims. If I send more ships to hunt him, these protests will grow worse." "Control your people, Minister," Turvok said coldly. "Or the council may decide humans are too unstable for membership." After they left, Han Bin slumped into his chair. A secure message light blinked on his private terminal. The message was coded but simple. Evidence spreading. More colony attacks planned. Watch the Viridian Embassy. TK. Han Bin deleted the message immediately. Inside, doubt grew stronger. What if Taeho was right? Captain Yoon-ji Baek stood stiffly at attention before Admiral Wong in Fleet Headquarters. She wore her diplomatic corps uniform, its silver trim marking her as part of Earth's official representatives to the Galactic Council. Captain Baek, your service record is excellent, Admiral Wong said, studying her file. Top of your class at the Academy. 5 years in combat positions before transferring to diplomatic service. Fluent in 3 alien languages. Thank you, sir, Yoon-ji replied, her face carefully blank. Which makes your current situation difficult. Admiral Wong looked up at her. You understand why you're here? Because of my father, Yoon-ji said simply. Yes, Admiral Taeho Kim. The most wanted man in council space. Wong sighed. Some wanted you removed from service entirely. I argued against that. You're not responsible for your father's actions. Yoon-ji remained silent, though her hands tightened slightly at her sides. We have a special assignment for you, Wong continued. You'll join the task force investigating your father's activities. Your knowledge of him may help us predict his movements. You want me to help capture my own father? Yoon-ji asked, her voice steady despite her shock. We want to bring him in alive, Captain, before the Viridians or Council enforcers kill him. Wong's voice softened slightly. This may be his only chance for survival. Yoon-ji thought about her father. They hadn't spoken in nearly 2 years, not since her mother's funeral. Their relationship had been strained ever since Yoon-ji chose diplomatic service over combat command. I'll do my duty, sir, she said finally. Wong nodded. Report to the Relentless tomorrow at 800. Commander Junho Kang is leading the operation. Junho. Yoon-ji couldn't hide her surprise. He and my father served together for years. Exactly. Like you, he knows how your father thinks. Wong dismissed her with a nod. Good hunting, Captain. That night, Yoon-ji sat alone in her apartment, looking at old family photos, her father in his commander's uniform, before he became an admiral. Her mother smiling beside him. A younger Yoon-ji in her cadet uniform. Her secure terminal beeped. The message had no sender identification. Colony massacre evidence attached. Council species coordinating attacks on humans. Your father discovered this. Why he went rogue. They'll kill him if they find him first. Trust no one. Decide where you stand. Attached was a video file showing Viridian ships attacking an unarmed human colony. The date stamp showed it happened 3 weeks ago. Earth News had reported it as a tragic accident. Yoon-ji's hands trembled as she closed the file. Was this real? Or a clever fake to manipulate her? Tomorrow, she would board the Relentless and join the hunt for her father. But now doubt filled her mind. What if her father wasn't a traitor but a patriot? What if he was right all along? Her comm unit chimed. It was Commander Junho. Captain Baek, he said formally. I wanted to speak with you before tomorrow's mission. Of course, Commander, she replied. Junho's face showed the strain of recent weeks. This won't be easy for either of us. Your father was my mentor, my friend. Yet now you hunt him, Yoon-ji observed. Admiral Taeho stood on the bridge of the Defiance looking at the holographic display of Seonggyeong Station. The massive council communications hub floated in space before them, its many antenna arrays stretching out like metal fingers. Are you sure about this plan, sir? Jisoo asked quietly. Attacking a council station is different from hitting a weapons platform. This isn't just an attack, Taeho replied. This is our chance to tell everyone the truth. After 2 weeks with the crash, their ships were repaired and upgraded. Commander Sung-ho had provided not only technical help, but also vital intelligence. Seonggyeong Station controlled all official communications for this sector of Council space. From there, messages reached hundreds of worlds and colonies. All ships report ready, Du Yun announced from his tactical station. Tai-ho nodded. Begin the operation. The combined human and Kresh fleet moved into position. 8 ships in total, 4 human vessels, and 4 Kresh warships. They had planned this mission carefully with one goal: capture the station intact and broadcast proof of the conspiracy to every world in range. First wave, launch now, Tai-ho ordered. Small stealth shuttles shot from the Defiance and Steadfast carrying strike teams toward the station. They would secure the main communications center while the fleet engaged the station's defenses. Enemy ships detected, called the sensor officer. 6 Council patrol vessels approaching from Sector 4. Right on schedule, Tai-ho said grimly. They had expected guards. All ships engage as planned. Remember, minimal damage to the station. The space around Seonggyeong erupted in weapons fire. The Kresh ships drew most of the patrol vessels away, while the Defiance and Vigilant moved closer to the station. Our teams have breached the outer docking bay, reported Jisoo, monitoring the boarding operation. Resistance is heavier than expected. Send the second wave, Tai-ho ordered. We need that communication center. On the main screen, they watched as more shuttles raced toward the station. Suddenly, the Vigilant rocked with impacts. 2 more enemy squadrons dropping out of FTL, shouted the tactical officer. They're targeting our engines. Tai-ho's mind raced. They had expected 6 patrol ships, not reinforcements. Someone had warned the station. All ships, adjust formation Delta. Prepare for extended engagement. He turned to communications. Status of boarding teams. Fighting their way to the central hub. Lieutenant Wong reports heavy resistance, but they're making progress. For the next 30 minutes, chaos ruled. The combined fleet fought brilliantly, but they were outnumbered. Warning lights flashed across the bridge as the Defiance took multiple hits. Sir, Jisoo called out suddenly. Lieutenant Wong reports they've reached the communication center. A cheer went up across the bridge. Begin transmission of the evidence files, Tai-ho ordered. All channels, maximum range. Uploading now, Du Yun confirmed. This was the moment they had fought for. The chance to show everyone the truth about the attacks on human colonies, the secret plans, the conspiracy reaching to the highest levels of the Council. Transmission active, reported the communications officer. Signal is reaching at least 20 major systems. Tai-ho allowed himself a small smile. How long until complete file transfer? 4 minutes at current. The officer never finished his sentence. A blinding flash lit up the view screen as a massive explosion tore through one section of the station. What happened? Tai-ho demanded. Enemy fire hit their reactor cooling systems, reported the sensor officer, his voice shaking. Station damage on 3 levels. Our teams? Tai-ho asked urgently. Jisoo's face paled as she checked reports. Most are continuing the mission, but we have wounded. Commander Park's shuttle is heading back now with casualties. Before Tai-ho could respond, the tactical officer shouted, incoming. 3 ships on attack vector. A sleek black vessel sliced through the battle, heading straight for the Defiance. It fired precise shots that rocked the ship violently. Council Enforcer vessel. Du Yun identified it. That's Junho's ship. As if hearing his name, Junho's face appeared on the communication screen. Admiral Kim, this is Enforcer Kang. Surrender your vessel now. Transmission at 68%. The communications officer reported quietly. We need more time, Tai-ho said. He opened the channel to Junho. We're exposing crimes against humanity, Junho. Give us time to finish. I have my orders, Admiral, Junho replied, his face expressionless. This ends now. We can't leave now, Tai-ho said firmly, his eyes on the transmission counter. 98%. Not when we're this close. Sir, Du Yun argued. Enforcer Kang's ship is circling for another attack run. Our shields can't take much more. The bridge of the Defiance was filled with smoke. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Through the view screen, they could see more enemy ships arriving. All our sacrifices mean nothing if we don't finish the broadcast, Taiho replied. Hold position. Du Yun nodded and returned to his station. The young officer understood what was at stake. Incoming message from Enforcer Kang, called the communications officer. Junho's face appeared on screen again. Admiral, your position is hopeless. You have 30 seconds to power down weapons, or we will open fire. Taiho stared at his old friend's face. You know why we're here, Junho. You've seen the evidence. The Council species are attacking human colonies while pretending to be our allies. I follow my orders, Junho replied, but Taiho noticed hesitation in his eyes. Transmission at 99%, reported the communications officer. Suddenly, new alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, shouted the sensor officer. 3 Earth fleet carriers. Taiho's heart sank. With Earth fleet joining the battle, they had no chance of escape. But something strange happened. The Earth fleet vessels moved into formation, not against the Defiance but against the Council ships. This is Admiral Jae-hyun Shin of Earth Fleet Carrier Determination boomed a new voice over the communication system. All Council vessels stand down. This station is now under Earth protection. Taiho couldn't believe what he was hearing. Admiral Shin had been his teacher at the academy, his mentor for years. The same man who had publicly condemned Taiho's desertion was now defending him. Admiral Shin, Junho responded, I have Council authority to arrest these rogues. And I have Earth authority to protect our citizens, Shin replied firmly. Stand down, Enforcer. As the Council ships hesitated, confused by this new development, the communications officer shouted in triumph. Transmission complete. We've broadcasted to all systems in range. Cheers erupted across the bridge. Taiho allowed himself a moment of relief before turning back to the screen showing Admiral Shin. Thank you, Admiral, Taiho said formally. But why? Shin's weathered face showed a hint of a smile. Because you were right, you stubborn fool. I received copies of your evidence 2 weeks ago and began my own investigation. The Council has been lying to us all. Transmission confirmed received on 87 worlds, reported the communications officer. It's spreading across the network. But their victory celebration was cut short as Junho's Enforcer ship moved into position again. Admiral Shin, Junho said stiffly, regardless of Earth's position, I have my orders. Admiral Kim must face Council justice for his actions. Before Shin could respond, a small diplomatic vessel appeared, moving between Junho's ship and the Defiance. This is Captain Yun-ji Baek, Earth Diplomatic Court, came a woman's voice that made Taiho freeze in shock. By authority of Defense Minister Han Bin-lee, I am here as Earth's official observer to any proceedings involving Admiral Kim. Yun-ji, Taiho whispered. His daughter, whom he hadn't seen in 2 years, was here, putting herself between him and danger. The standoff lasted several tense minutes. Finally, Junho powered down his weapons. Very well, he said. Admiral Kim will be taken to neutral ground station for formal proceedings. Captain Baek may accompany as Earth's representative. 3 days later, Taiho sat in a small room on neutral ground station. His wound from the battle had been treated, but he still felt weak. The door slid open and Yun-ji entered. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Yun-ji stepped forward and embraced her father tightly. I thought you were a traitor, she whispered. I'm sorry. Taiho held his daughter close. I'm sorry, too. For not telling you. For leaving. When they separated, Yun-ji's face became professional again. The Council is in chaos. Your broadcast reached everywhere. Some representatives are demanding investigations, others are resigning. The Viridians are claiming the evidence was faked. And Earth's position? Taiho asked. Minister Hanbin officially requested a full inquiry, Yunji replied. Admiral Shin is testifying about his own findings. Taiho nodded. And what happens to me? You'll face judgment tomorrow, Yunji said quietly. Both Earth and Council representatives will be present. I won't lie to you. Some want you executed for attacking Council facilities. We can't leave now, Taiho said firmly, his eyes on the transmission counter, 98%. Not when we're this close. Sir, Du Yun argued. Enforcer Kang's ship is circling for another attack run. Our shields can't take much more. The bridge of the Defiance was filled with smoke. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Through the view screen, they could see more enemy ships arriving. All our sacrifices mean nothing if we don't finish the broadcast, Taiho replied. Hold position. Du Yun nodded and returned to his station. The young officer understood what was at stake. Incoming message from Enforcer Kang, called the communications officer. Junho's face appeared on screen again. Admiral, your position is hopeless. You have 30 seconds to power down weapons, or we will open fire. Taiho stared at his old friend's face. You know why we're here, Junho. You've seen the evidence. The Council species are attacking human colonies while pretending to be our allies. I follow my orders, Junho replied, but Taiho noticed hesitation in his eyes. Transmission at 99%, reported the communications officer. Suddenly, new alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, shouted the sensor officer. 3 Earth Fleet carriers. Taiho's heart sank. With Earth Fleet joining the battle, they had no chance of escape. But something strange happened. The Earth Fleet vessels moved into formation, not against the Defiance but against the Council ships. This is Admiral Jae-hyun Shin of Earth Fleet Carrier Determination boomed a new voice over the communication system. All Council vessels stand down. This station is now under Earth protection. Taiho couldn't believe what he was hearing. Admiral Shin had been his teacher at the academy, his mentor for years. The same man who had publicly condemned Taiho's desertion was now defending him. Admiral Shin, Junho responded. I have Council authority to arrest these rogues. And I have Earth authority to protect our citizens, Shin replied firmly. Stand down, Enforcer. As the Council ships hesitated, confused by this new development, the communications officer shouted in triumph. Transmission complete. We've broadcasted to all systems in range. Cheers erupted across the bridge. Taiho allowed himself a moment of relief before turning back to the screen showing Admiral Shin. Thank you, Admiral, Taiho said formally. But why? Shin's weathered face showed a hint of a smile. Because you were right, you stubborn fool. I received copies of your evidence 2 weeks ago and began my own investigation. The Council has been lying to us all. Transmission confirmed received on 87 worlds, reported the communications officer. It's spreading across the network. But their victory celebration was cut short as Junho's Enforcer ship moved into position again. Admiral Shin, Junho said stiffly, regardless of Earth's position, I have my orders. Admiral Kim must face Council justice for his actions. Before Shin could respond, a small diplomatic vessel appeared, moving between Junho's ship and the Defiance This is Captain Yun Ji-buk, Earth Diplomatic Court, came a woman's voice that made Taiho freeze in shock. By authority of Defense Minister Han Bin-lee, I am here as Earth's official observer to any proceedings involving Admiral Kim. Yunji, Taiho whispered. His daughter, whom he hadn't seen in 2 years, was here, putting herself between him and danger. The standoff lasted several tense minutes. Finally, Junho powered down his weapons. Very well, he said. Admiral Kim will be taken to neutral ground station for formal proceedings. Captain Bake may accompany as Earth's representative. 3 days later, Tai-ho sat in a small room on neutral ground station. His wound from the battle had been treated, but he still felt weak. The door slid open, and Yunji entered. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Yunji stepped forward and embraced her father tightly. "I thought you were a traitor," she whispered. "I'm sorry." Tai-ho held his daughter close. "I'm sorry, too. For not telling you. For leaving." When they separated, Yunji's face became professional again. "The council is in chaos. Your broadcast reached everywhere. Some representatives are demanding investigations, others are resigning. The Viridians are claiming the evidence was faked." "And Earth's position?" Tai-ho asked. "Minister Hanbin officially requested a full inquiry," Yunji replied. "Admiral Shin is testifying about his own findings." Tai-ho nodded. "And what happens to me?"